Hey, do you guys feed your dogs people food? Do you know what foods and plants you should avoid if you have dogs and cats in your home? Are you wondering why a dog trainer cares what your dogs or cats are eating? Stick with me, you guys. We have so much to get through today. I'm so excited about today. Listen, there's a lot of things going on this week. Today is National Puppy Day. Woohoo! Like, let's celebrate all of our puppies. All of our puppies. And do me a favor, please send me pictures of your puppies. I miss seeing all the puppies in my studio and all around town. So please share some more pictures with me so I get to see them. I wanted to hear all about what you're doing with your puppies and your adventures today. So I wanted to just check in about that and also let you know that this week is National Animal Poison Prevention Week. So we're talking a lot about what dogs can and cannot eat to stay safe. So that's why we're doing a cooking demo today just for you. It's also the first week of spring. I don't know where y'all are in the world. Here in Maryland, the trees are popping with beautiful pink flowers all over, and the flowers are popping up from the ground, and it's just a gorgeous sunny day here. So I want to just make sure that we all know that it's spring is in the air, and I have a fun spring holiday recipe to share with you guys. First, I just want to talk to you guys about my top 5 today is about the myths of dog food, of cat food too. Let's focus mainly on dogs today. So I'm going to tell you guys, listen, there are a lot of information out there about what we should and should not feed our dogs, right? A lot. And I just want to break a few myths while I have you here before I start cooking with you guys, okay? So first of all, dogs, the first myth I hear all the time is that dogs only need to eat kibble. That's it. My dog only needs to eat kibble every single day, 2 times a day. That's it. Dry kibble in a bowl next to their water bowl that hasn't been changed in a few days, like they're fine. No, let's break that myth right now. Dogs need variety just like we do. If they're eating a bowl of dry kibble every single day, the same protein every single day, it can actually increase a lot of health issues. So I'm here to tell you that they don't need to just eat kibble. Kibble is new. It only started during World War I as like a way to transport the food really easily for our dogs at war, and also for the housewives back home. It was an easy way to feed the dogs. But this is not a regular normal thing that we want to feed our animals. When we talk about feeding them people food or table scraps, people get worried that they're going to beg. And that's the second thing I want to talk to you guys about them begging at the table. Giving them people food. I keep putting this in quotes because I need you guys to understand that there's no such thing really as people food and dog food. There's foods that we need to avoid, and there's foods that dogs need to avoid. Most of the foods overlap though. So let's figure out how we can do that together. So we understand that if your dog is at the table and they're begging and you give them food, yes, absolutely. That is going to teach your dog that by coming over to the table, they're going to get rewarded. They've learned. It's a learned behavior, begging. So if you're going to feed them foods that are not just a kibble, what you want to do is still offer it to them on their terms, meaning go give it to them in their bowl, or today we are thinking outside of the bowl and how else can we feed our animals. The next thing is that feeding people food is going to make them sick. So there are some foods to avoid. Main foods that we want to avoid are grapes, raisins, chocolate, caffeine, xylitol, which is in a lot of chewing gum, and some peanut butter. It's a sugar substitute. So if you're giving your dog peanut butter, make sure that it doesn't have xylitol in it. There's things like that you want to avoid. However, for the most part, dogs can eat. They can eat the leftover chicken, and they can eat the leftovers that you have. Like if you have some cooked broccoli that your kids didn't eat, feel free to add some of that into their meal for the day. It's fantastic. There's so many benefits for your dogs, just as there are for people. So there's things that we talk about that will make them sick and will not. Now, for example, my dog has food sensitivities. She actually can't have chicken or egg or beef. Or some grains. It makes her sick. So it gives her allergies. So she has symptoms that show that it doesn't make her feel good. Just like people have, if some people need to avoid gluten or dairy or things like that. Same with dogs. Some dogs react differently. So yes, it could make them sick potentially. We want to test it out though and see what they can eat, because some dogs love cucumbers. Some dogs love strawberries. Some dogs love green beans. right? So let's find some new things that they could try. So the next myth I want to break, and this is a hard one, is that prescription diets are the only thing that works for my dog. I hear it a lot. And I'm here to tell you that I understand that your vet told you that that's what's going to work. And if your dog is reacting well to the prescription diet, I'm not suggesting that you change it. However, there are alternatives. There are safe alternatives for feeding a prescription diet. If you look at the bag of food or the can of food that you're giving a prescription diet, there are ingredients in there that really aren't even worthy. Your animal deserves so much better than what's in that can and what's in that bag of food. That's what I want to tell you guys today. So I understand that your vet said that. Your vet may not have the nutrition background that other animal nutritionists have, or they're programmed to give you that. Some vets, not all. I understand we all have different vets and we love them. Our vets right now are doing incredible work right now. If you have a vet, and I hope you do, please thank them today. Tell them how appreciative you are for the time and work that they're putting in, because they're working really hard this year, harder than they've ever worked probably. So I'm not discounting their studies, their knowledge at all. I'm only saying that there are alternatives if you're open. The last thing I want to talk to you guys about is, this is another myth that I hear. Well, the picture on the bag looks like my dog, so it must be the right kind of food for my dog, right? So marketing is great, right? You see that bag of food that has that gorgeous little Chihuahua and you think, I have a gorgeous little Chihuahua, this must be the right food for me. Well, that may be true. However, if you look at the ingredients, again, just like the prescription diets, sometimes the ingredients just aren't meant for your dogs to eat. It's not healthy, and they may have reactions. They may have sensitivities. It may increase itchiness or ear infections or bowel issues, or skin issues. So there's things that, even though the picture looks just like your dog, doesn't always mean it's the perfect food for you. So those are the top 5 myths I just wanted to break. And now you might still be wondering, what does a dog trainer have to do with nutrition? Why are we talking about nutrition today? Well, I'll tell you what. I cannot train an unhealthy dog. I can't do it. If your dog isn't feeling well because of their nutrition, because of their bowels hurt, or because they have itchy skin, we can't train them as well. There's so many issues that happen. So that's the main reason why I really feel strongly about the very first thing I do with every single person I work with is I ask you how your dog's health is. Every single time. I say, when was the last time you went to the vet? What did the vet say? What medications are you taking what medications is your dog taking? What supplements? What food? I want a full picture of their wellness before I can offer my suggestions on training. So I just can't train an unhealthy dog. And the food has a direct correlation to behavior and wellness. 100%. This food that we offer our dogs, just like for us, gives us our energy, gives us our health, our nutrition, our wellness. It feeds our skin and all of our organs and everything that we need, our brain function, our vision, our coat, everything has to do with what we put into our body. So it's really important to me to make sure that we give our dogs just as much, if not more oftentimes, attention to their diet than we do to ours. The last thing I want to say is that, here's something interesting, right? This is really interesting, is that some foods actually can increase anxiety and stress in our dogs. I'm going to say that again so you can hear me say that. Some foods actually increase the anxiety and stress in our dogs. There are some foods that do that. And I'm here to tell you that I've done a lot of studies on this. I have experienced a lot in my long 2 decades of working with animals. I've seen firsthand what can happen when we can change up a diet and change up their behavior at the same time. It is amazing to see the difference. So if you have a dog that's eating food that doesn't make them feel good, they may be itchy and they may react because they're in pain, they're in discomfort, dis-ease, right? And so they're going to react to you stronger, whether it's by acting more rambunctious, more anxious, or they could be angry, right? They could turn and they could be more, they could fight a fight or flight mode when they're uncomfortable. So this is really important that we talk about the correlation between what we're feeding our animals and how they're reacting. We can change how they react, how they handle stress, how they handle hard situations by improving their diet and changing what they eat. So as you can tell, this is something that I am super passionate about. I want to share with you all this information so you can make the decision. If you need more information, I am here. There are plenty of resources. I can direct you in any way possible to help you get to the diet, get to this a healthier diet to increase their wellness and your ability to train them, your ability to get along with your dogs get along with everybody else through nutrition. So with all of that out of the way, it's time for our recipe demo, our cooking demo today. You guys, this is a really fun one. So I have some fresh farm eggs. As a pet sitter, I got to go take care of some chickens last week. So I got to collect their eggs and I have them right here. I cooked them up this week, hard boiled them. They are delicious, delicious. So if you don't have farm fresh eggs, that's okay. Get some, other eggs and you hard boil them. We are making a recipe called angeled eggs. Angeled eggs for our canine companions. And I call them angeled eggs in honor of my first mother-in-law, my first favorite mother-in-law. Don't we all collect mothers-in-law? Or maybe it's just me. In any case, I've got one, and she has this awesome recipe that she makes called angeled eggs for people. And I've adapted it for our dogs and cats. This recipe you can actually feed with your cats too. So you want to this is a really fun recipe. Here's what you need for it. You need hard-boiled eggs, 6 hard-boiled eggs. Then you're going to put it into a bowl. You're going to mix it with a can of sardines, 2 tablespoons of yogurt. I'm using a 4% whole milk yogurt. If your dogs have any allergies or anything to cow milk, you could use goat milk yogurt or anything like that. So you want to use plain yogurt for it. And then you mix those together. You're going to add in some parsley. You can use fresh parsley or ground parsley, which is really good for their breath. It's really awesome. And you're going to mix those together, the yolks, right? So you cut these in half, put the yolks in a bowl, then you add in the sardines, the yogurt, mix it all together, add in some parsley. Then you're going to take a tablespoon and make it into a ball, and you're going to put it into your egg. And then you're going to sprinkle it. I'm going to put this up here so you can see really well. See this? And you're going to sprinkle it with turmeric. Why turmeric? So here's the finished plate. Woo, can you see it? There we go. So this is the plate that I have. These are all delicious, healthy. Here, I'm going to move this out of the way so you can see it. I want to just talk to you guys about how awesome this is. So here we go, so you can see it. So here's the finished product. Here's what it looks like. These are called angeled eggs in honor of my mother-in-law and also in memory of all the dogs we've lost who are over the Rainbow Bridge. So they're all our angels, right? Our dogs now today, they give us so much joy. So why don't we give back to them? So I have these angeled eggs. If you have leftover, which I did, I had some leftover here. I put it in this bowl so you could see. You can do all kinds of fun things with it. You can smear it on a licky mat. Or you could stuff it in a Kong and freeze these for a long-lasting meal. So this is really awesome. Why did I add turmeric to it? Turmeric is an anti-inflammatory and it's really, really healthy for them. So you can get this any store you want and it's just great. So you can just sprinkle it on a little bit on the top to make it look pretty. So these are very festive for the holidays. You want to make sure that you give these as part of their snack, but here's the deal. This is not about giving them too much, right? So if you've never given your dog egg before, cut it in half, give them a piece, see how they do. You could chop it up and put it in a bowl or smear it on a licky mat. It's a really fun treat to give to your dogs. So the last thing I want to say is that the eggshell, You can even use the eggshell for your dogs. So I didn't put any of these in here because I'll tell you what, we're going to share these with my dog because actually you can share these with your dogs, your cats, and your family. These are totally nutritious for everybody to eat. So I didn't add the eggshells because I don't like having eggshells in my food. However, dogs can eat these. So what you do is you make sure that they're really nice and dry. You can put them in a mortar and pestle if you have one. And you just put them in here and you're going to grind it up really fine. If you don't have a mortar and pestle, you can use put them into a Ziploc bag and use a rolling pin, and you're going to roll them out till it's a fine powder, and you can mix it in their food. That's an extra calcium supplement. That's a great way for them to get that extra they need. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed this cooking demo. Here we have our angel eggs just one last time so you can see. And I want to just remind you all that because it is springtime, we have flowers coming up and there's all kinds of new things that we need to avoid for our dogs. So just a reminder for Animal Poison Prevention Week, I want to just touch on a couple things. One is that lilies are a big holiday flower. Those are absolutely toxic, lethal, fatal for our cats. They are really dangerous. I could tell you stories and I don't want to. So let's avoid lilies in our home if we have cats. If you have outdoor cats, make sure that the plants you have out in your yard are safe for them, and also for your dogs. So some flowers that are not okay for dogs are daffodil bulbs. Now they're in the ground, and unless you have a really resourceful dog, they're most likely not going to play with the daffodil bulbs. However, when you're planting in this fall, if you go plant some new ones, make sure that your dogs don't think that that's a fun snack. So those are also really dangerous. I just wanted to mention those as some springtime flowers to avoid for our dogs and cats before we end today. And also remind you that I will be back here with more training tips and workshops for you guys in the coming weeks. And then please check us out. If you have not already joined our amazing private Facebook group, Paw Prints University Classmates, come join us on campus. We have all kinds of fun things, including a really awesome challenge this week, which is all about food. So it's about giving our dogs food in a different way, thinking outside the bowl. So if you haven't already, post a picture on our group of your dog enjoying a food outside of the bowl. It could be on a licky mat, a Kong. It could be, there's so many different ways to feed our dogs without giving them a bowl. If you give them one of these, if you post a picture of these, I will give you 2 entries into our contest. So go check it out on Paw Prints University Classmates, our Facebook group, and find out all the details about our weekly challenge. I will see you all real soon.